Cynthia, my sister Martha, and I have been talking all week about your sermon last Sunday. It's really wonderful, Dr. Harper. In only 2 short years, you managed to capture the spirit of Brooklyn.
That's very gratifying, Miss Brewster.
You see, living here next to the church of our lives, I've seen so many ministers come and go. The spirit of Brooklyn, we always say, is friendliness, and your sermons aren't so much sermons as they are friendly talks.
Personally, I've always enjoyed my talks with Cardinal Gibbons. Or, have I met him yet?
No, dear, not yet. Oh, the biscuits good?
Bully.
Won't you have a biscuit, Dr. Harper?
Oh no, I'm afraid I'll have no appetite for dinner now. I always eat too many of your biscuits just to taste that lovely jam.
But you haven't tried the quince. You always put some apple with it, save the tartness out.
No, thank you.
We'll send you over a jar.
No, you keep them right here so I can be sure of having your biscuits with it.
I too hope that make us use that imitation flour again. I mean, with this war effort, it might be very charitable of me, but I'm also convinced Mr. Hitler is a Christian.
If only Europe were on another planet.
You're up, sir?
Yes, Teddy.
Point your gun the other way.
Gun?
To the west. There's your danger. There's your enemy. Japan.
Why, yes, of course.
Teddy, no, Abby. Not so much talk about Europe. More about the canal.
Let's not talk about war. Do you have some more tea, dear?
No, thank you, Aunt Abby.
Dr. Harper?
No, thank you. I must admit, Miss Abby, that war and violence seem far removed from these surroundings.
It is peaceful here, isn't it?
Yes. Peaceful. The virtues of another day, they're all here in this house. The gentle virtues that went out with candlelight, good manners, and low taxes.
It's one of the oldest houses in Brooklyn. It's just as it was when Grandfather Brewster built and furnished it. Except for the electricity. We couldn't use it as little as possible. It was actually Mortimer who persuaded us to put it in.
Yes, I can understand that. Your nephew Mortimer seems to only live by electric light.
Oh, the poor boy has to work so late. I had to say, take you away to the theater with me again tonight. Teddy, your brother Mortimer will be a little later.
Delighted.
We're so happy as Elaine Mortimer takes to the theater with him.
Well, it is a new experience for me to wake up until 3 o'clock in the morning for my daughter to be brought home.
Oh, Dr. Harper, I hope it was approve of Mortimer. I feel sort of guilty if you did, Sister Martha and I mean, seeing as it was in our house, our daughter met Mortimer.
Of course, Miss Abby, and so I'll say immediately that I believe Mortimer himself to be quite the worthy gentleman. But I must also admit that I have watched the growing intimacy between him and my daughter with some trepidation for one thing, Miss Abby.
You mean his stomach, Dr. Harper?
Stomach?
His dyspepsia. He's bothered with it so, poor boy.
Oh no, Miss Abby, I'll be frank with you. I'm speaking of your nephew's unfortunate connection with the theater.
The theater? Oh, no, Dr. Harper. Mortimer is from the old newspaper.
I know, Miss Abby, I know. But a dramatic critic is constantly exposed to the theater, and I don't doubt that some do develop an interest in it.
Well, not Mortimer. You have no fear of that. Why, Mortimer hates the theater.
Really?
Oh, he writes awful things about the theater, but you can't blame him, poor boy. He was so happy writing about real estate, something he really knew something about. And then they just really made him take this terrible night position.
My.
But as he says, the theater can't last much longer anyway, and in the meantime, it's a living. Yes, it's supposed to be the theater another year or so, perhaps. No, Teddy, I'll get it.
Hello, Miss Brewster.
How are you, Mr. Klein?
Very well, Miss Brewster. What news have you brought me?
Colonel, we have nothing to report.
Splendid. Thank you, gentlemen. At ease.
You know Dr. Harper.
Sure. Hello, Dr. Harper.
We've come to collect the toys for the Christmas fund.
Oh, yes.
That's a splendid work you men do, fixing up discarded toys to give poor children a happier Christmas.
Well, you know, it just gives us something to do while we have to sit around the station. You get tired of playing cards, and then, you know, you just start cleaning your gun, and the first thing you know, you've shot yourself in the foot.
Teddy, go upstairs and get that big box. We're in Martha's room. How is Mrs. Brophy today? She's been quite ill, Dr. Harper.
Pneumonia.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Charge!
Well, she's doing better now. A little weak still.
I'll get some beef broth for you to take to her.
Don't bother, Miss Abby. You've done so much for her already.
We made it this morning. Sister Martha's taking to the poor Mr. Vinitsky right now. It won't be a minute. Sit down and be comfortable, all of you.
She shouldn't go to all the trouble.
Listen, try to stop her or her sister from doing something nice, and for nothing. They don't even care your vote.
When I received my call from Brooklyn and had to move next door, my wife wasn't well. When she died, and for months before, well, if I know what pure kindness and absolute generosity are, it's because I've known the Brewster sisters.
Colonel! You promised not to do that anymore.
But I have to call a cabinet meeting to requisition those supplies.
He used to do that in the middle of the night. The neighbors raised Cain with us. They're a little afraid of him anyway.
Oh, he's quite harmless.
Suppose he does think he's Teddy Roosevelt. There's a lot worse people we could think he was.
Damn shame a nice family like that hatching a cuckoo.
Well, his father, the old girl's brother, was some sort of genius, wasn't he? And their father, Teddy's grandfather, seems to me he was a little crazy too.
Yeah, he was crazy. Like a fox. He made $1 million.
Really? Here in Brooklyn?
Yeah, patent medicine. He was kind of a quack of some sort. Old Sergeant Edwards remembers him. He was the house dealer's, sort of a clinic. Tried him out on people.
Yeah, and I hear he used to make mistakes occasionally too.
But the department never bothered with him much because he was helpful on autopsies sometimes. Especially poison cases.
Well, whatever he did, he left his daughters fixed for life. Thank God for that.
Not that they ever spent any of it on themselves.
Oh, yes, I am well acquainted with their charities.
Oh, you don't know what that meant. When I was with the Missing Persons Bureau, we were searching for this old man that we never did find. Did you know there's a renting agency out there that's got this place down on its list for furnished rooms? They don't rent rooms, but you can bet that anyone who comes here looking for a room goes away with a good meal, and probably a few dollars in their kick.
It's just their way of bigging up people to do some good to.
Well, now isn't this nice?
Good afternoon, Miss Brewster.
How do you do, Mr. Brophy? Dr. Harper? Mr. Klein?
Very well, Miss Brewster. We dropped in to get the Christmas toys.
Oh, yes, Teddy's Army and Navy. They wear out. They're all gone.
The colonel's upstairs after them. Seems the cabinet has to okay them.
Yes, of course. I hope Mrs. Brophy's feeling better.
She's doing fine, ma'am. Your sister's getting me some broth to take to her.
Oh, yes, we just made it this morning. I just took some little poor Ed who broke ever so many bones.
Oh, you're back, Martha. How is Mr. Beninsky?
Oh, it's pretty serious, I'm afraid. The doctor was there. He's going to amputate.
Were you present?
No, I asked him, but he says it's against the rules of the hospital.
You couldn't be of any service, and you must spare yourself something.
Here's the broth, Mr. Brophy. If you're sure it's good and hot.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
This is fine. That'll make a lot of kids happy. That O'Malley boy was sure nuts about soldiers.
That's General Miles. I've retired. What's this? The Oregon.
Teddy, here, put it back.
No, the Oregon's supposed to go to Australia.
Now, Teddy.
No, I promised Fighting Bob Evans.
Teddy.
What's the difference what kid gets in? Bobby Evans, Izzy Cohen? We'll run along, ma'am, and thank you very much.
Not at all.
Goodbye.
Well, I must be getting home.
Oh, before you go, Dr. Harper.
Charge! Charge the blockhouse!
Black House?
Oh, the stairs are always San Juan Hill.
Have you ever tried to persuade him that he wasn't Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, no.
He's so happy being Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh, come on, so long time ago. Remember, Martha? We thought that the George Washington might be a change for him.
But he stayed under his bed for days and just wouldn't be anybody.
And we'd so much rather be Mr. Roosevelt than nobody.
Well, if he's happy, and what's most important is that you're happy, you'll see that he signs these.
What are they?
Dr. Harper has made all arrangements for Teddy to go to the Happydale Sanitarium after we pass on.
But why should Teddy sign any papers now?
It's better to have it all settled. If the Lord should take you away suddenly, perhaps we couldn't convince Teddy to commit himself, and that would mean an unpleasant legal procedure. Mr. Witherspoon understands that it'll be filed away until the time comes to use it.
Mr. Witherspoon? Who's he?
The superintendent of Happydale.
Dr. Harper's arranged him to come over tomorrow or the next day to meet Teddy.
Well, I must be running along, or Elaine will be over here looking for me.
Give our love to Elaine, and Dr. Harper, please don't think too harshly of Warwick as your dramatic critic. Somebody has to do these things.
Did you just have tea? Isn't it rather late?
Yes, and dinner's going to be rather late, too.
So, why?
Teddy, good news for you. You're going to Penrose. You're going to lock for the canal.
Oh, bully, bully! I shall prepare at once for the journey.
Abby? Well, I was out.
Yes, dear, I just couldn't wait for you. And when you'd be back, and Dr. Harper was coming.
But I'll
Charge!
Oh, I got along fine.
Well, I'll run downstairs and see.
Oh, no, there was a time when I was alone.
Well,
Martha, just look in the window, see. Oh, it's Elaine. Come in, dear.
Good afternoon, Miss Abby. Good afternoon, Miss Martha. I thought Father was here.
he's just this minute left. You meet him.
No, I took the shortcut through the cemetery. Mortimer hasn't come yet.
No, dear.
Oh, he asked me to meet him here. Do you mind if I wait?
Not at all.
Let her see sit down, dear.
But we really must speak to him about doing this to you.
Doing what?
Well, he was brought up to know better. When a young man is taking a young lady out, he should call for her at her house.
Oh, there's something about calling for a girl at a parsonage that discourages any man who doesn't embroider.
He's done this too often. We're going to speak to him.
No, please don't. After young men whose idea of nightlife is to take me to prayer meeting, it's wonderful to go to the theater almost every night of my life.
It's comforting for us, too, because Mortimer has to see some of those plays that he has to see. At least he's sitting next to a minister's daughter.
Oh, my goodness, the language you must think of us not having tea brewed by this time.
Now, don't bother with anything in the kitchen until Mortimer comes, and then I'll help you. Mortimer should be here any minute.
Yes, Father must have been surprised not to find me at home. I'd better run over and tell him goodnight.
It's a shame we missed him, dear.
If Mortimer comes, you tell him I'll be right back. Oh! Hello, Mort.
Hello, Elaine. Hello, Aunt Martha.
Abby, Mortimer's here.
Oh, were you going somewhere?
I was just going to tell Father not to wait up for me.
I didn't know that was still being done, even in Brooklyn.
Hello, Mortimer.
Hello, Aunt Abby.
How are you, dear?
I'm well. You haven't changed much since yesterday.
My goodness, it was yesterday, wasn't it? I've seen a great deal of you lately. Well, come in, sit down, sit down.
Abby, haven't we something to do in the kitchen? You know, the tea things?
Oh, yes, yes, tea things. Well, you two just make yourselves at home. Just
Make yourselves at home.
Well, can't you take a hint?
No, that was pretty obvious. A lack of inventiveness, I should say.
Yes, that's exactly what you'd say.
Where do you want to go for dinner?
I don't care. I'm not very hungry.
Well, I just had breakfast. Suppose we wait until after the show.
But that'll make it pretty late, won't it?
Not with the little stinker we're seeing tonight. From what I've heard about it, we'll be at Black's by 10 o'clock.
You never be fair to these plays.
Are these plays fair to me?
I've never seen you walk out on a musical.
Darling, the musical isn't opening tonight.
No?
You'll have to learn the rules. With a musical, there are always 3 postponements and 4 changes of title. They liked it in New Haven, but it needs some work.
Oh, I was hoping it was a musical.
You have such a light mind.
Not a bit. Musicals somehow have a humanizing effect on you. After a serious play, we join the proletariat in the subway, and you give me a lecture on the drama. After a musical, you take me home in a taxi, and you make a few passes.
Oh, now, darling, that's a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
Oh, I will admit that after the Behrman play, you told me I had authentic beauty, and that's a hell of a thing to say to a girl. It wasn't until after our first musical you told me I had nice legs. And I do.
Well, for a minister's daughter, you sure do know a lot about life. Where'd you learn it?
In the choir loft.
Oh. I have to explain that to you sometime, the close connection between eroticism and religion.
Oh, darling, religion never gets as high as the choir loft. Which reminds me, I'd better go and tell Father not to wait up for me.
I've never been able to rationalize it.
What?
My falling in love with a girl from Brooklyn.
Falling in love. You're not stooping to the articulate, are you?
The only way I can regain my self-respect is to keep you in New York.
Did you say keep?
No, I've just come to the conclusion that you're holding out for the legalities.
I can afford to be a good girl for quite a few years yet.
I can't wait that long. Where should we be married in a hurry? Say, tonight.
I'm afraid Father will insist on officiating.
God, I bet that man could make even the marriage service sound pedestrian.
Are you by chance writing a review of it?
Forgive me, darling. It's an occupational disease. Who knows? I may give that play tonight and didn't notice.
Now, darling, don't pretend you love me that much.
Be sure to tell your father not to wait up tonight.
I think I'd better tell him to wait up.
I'll telephone Winchell and publish the bans.
Nevertheless...
Oh, all right, everything formal and legal, but no later than next month.
Darling, I'll talk it over with Father and set a date.
No, we'll have to see what's in rehearsal. There'll be plenty of other first nights in October.
Hello, Mortimer.
Hello, Mr. President. How are you?
Bully. just bully, thank you. What news have you brought me?
Just this. The country is squarely behind you.
Yes, I know. Isn't it wonderful? Well, goodbye. Goodbye.
Where are you off to, Teddy?
Panama.
Panama's the cellar. He digs locks for the canal down there.
You're so sweet with him. He's very fond of you.
Yes, Teddy was always my favorite brother.
Favorite? Were there more of you?
Yes, there was another brother, Jonathan.
I've never heard of him. Your aunts never mentioned him.
No, we don't like to talk about Jonathan. He left Brooklyn very early. By request. He was the type of boy who liked to cut worms in two with his teeth.
What became of him?
I don't know. He wanted to go to medical school and become a surgeon, my grandfather, but he never did go, and his practice got him into trouble.
Aren't you going to be late for the theater?
Oh no, we're skipping dinner, so we won't have to leave for another half an hour.
Well, that'll leave you two alone together again.
Don't bother, darling. I'm gonna go speak with Father. Before I go out with you, he likes to pray over me a little. I'll be right back. I'll take the shortcut through the cemetery.
If the prayer isn't too long, I'd have time to lead you beside distilled water.
Mortimer, that's the first time I've heard you quote the Bible. We knew it would be a good influence on you.
Yes. Well, by the way, I'm going to marry her.
What? Oh, darling! Martha, come quick! I have those wonderful news for you. Mortimer and Lynn are going to be married.
Married?
Oh, Mortimer, we don't do it happy just like this.
Well, Elaine must be the happiest girl in the world.
Happy? Just look at her. She's practically leaping over those gravestones. Say, what's that?
What's what, dear?
That statue there, that's a horned day Carnina.
Oh no, dear, that's Emma B. Stout ascending to heaven.
No, on Mrs. Stout's left ear. That's a red-crested swallow. I've only seen one of those before in my life.
I don't know how you're thinking about a bird right now with the way and the engagement and everything.
They're a vanishing species. Thoreau was very fond of them. Oh, by the way, I left a large chapter here the other day of my book on Thoreau. Have you seen it?
Oh, well, if you left it here, it must be here somewhere.
When are you going to be married? What are your plans? There has to be something else you can tell us about Elaine.
Oh, yes. Lane thought it was brilliant.
What was here?
Oh, my chapter on Thoreau.
Well, when Elaine comes back, we're going to have a little celebration. Isn't there a Lady Baltimore cake left?
Oh, yes.
And how about a bottle of wine?
Oh, and to think it happened in this room.
Now, where could I have put that?
Well, dear, with your fiancé sitting beside you, I do hope we play over something you can enjoy for once. It might be something romantic. What's it called?
Murder Will Out.
Oh, dear.
When the curtain opens up, the first thing you'll see is a dead body. Dead body. Dead body. Oh, Happy.
Yes, dear?
You were going to make plans for Teddy to go to the cemetery. Happy day.
Yes, dear, it's all arranged. Dr. Hop brought the papers over today for today to sign. Here they are.
He's got to sign these right away.
That's what Dr. Harper thinks. Then there'll be legal difficulties after we pass on.
He's got to sign them this minute. Is he down in the cellar? Bring him up here right away.
There's no such hurry as that.
No, when Teddy starts working on a canal, you can't get his mind on anything else.
Teddy's got to go to Happy Day tonight.
Oh no, dear, that's not until after we're gone.
Right away, I tell you, right away.
But Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? Why, as long as we live, we'll never be separated from Teddy.
Listen, darlings, I'm frightfully sorry, but I've got some shocking news for you. Now, we've all got to try and keep our heads. You know, we've sort of humored Teddy because we thought he was harmless.
But he is harmless.
He was harmless. That's why he has to go to Happy Day, why he has to be confined.
Mortimer, why is someone turning against Teddy, your own brother?
No, right, we're going to find out eventually. Might as well be now. Teddy, he's killed a man.
Nonsense, dear.
But there's a body in the window seat.
Yes, dear, we know.
You know?
Of course, dear, but it has nothing to do with Teddy.
Now, Warren, just forget about it. Forget you ever saw the gentleman.
Forget?
We never dreamed you'd peep.
Oh, but who is he?
His name's Hoskins. Adam Hoskins. That's all I really know about him, except that he's a Methodist.
That's all you know? Oh, well, what's he doing there?
He died.
On, Martha. Men don't just climb into window seats and die.
No, he died first.
Oh, well, how?
Oh, Warren, don't be so inquisitive. The gentleman died because he drank some wine with poison in it.
And how did the poison get into the wine?
Well, we put it in wine because it's less noticeable. When it's in tea, it has a distinct odor.
You put it in the wine.
Yes, and I put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat because Dr. Harper was coming.
So, you knew what you'd done. You didn't let Mr. Hoskins to see the body.
Well, not at tea. That would have been very nice. Now, I'm going to do the whole thing, just forget about it. I do think Martha and I have the right to our little secrets.
And don't you tell Elaine. Oh, Abby, while I was out, I dropped in on Mrs. Schultz. She's feeling much better. She would like us to take Junior to the movies again.
Well, this is like tomorrow or the next day.
Yes, but this time we'll go where we want to go. Junior's not going to drag me into another one of those scary pictures.
Hello, Al. Do you know who this is? Uh-huh. Well, when I left the office this morning, I told you where I was going, remember? Oh, yes. Well, what did I say? Uh-huh, well, it should take me about an hour and a half to get to Brooklyn. Well, what time have you got? Uh-huh, well, I must be here. Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, come in here. Oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do?
What are we going to do about what, dear?
The body!
Yes, Mr. Hoskins.
Oh, well, good heavens, I can't just turn you over to the police. But what am I going to do?
Well, for one thing, dear, stop being so excited.
And for pity's sake, stop worrying. We're trying to forget the whole thing.
Oh, but Mr. Hotchkiss.
Hoskins, dear.
Oh, well, whatever his name is, you can't leave him here.
We don't intend to.
No, it's going to send us to their now, reading the lock.
You're going to bury Mr. Hotchkiss in the cellar.
Oh, yes, dear, that's what we did with the others.
No! You can't bury Mr. Others?
The other gentleman.
When you say others, do you mean others more than one? Others?
Oh, yes, dear, let me see. This is 11, isn't it?
No, dear, this makes 12.
Oh, I think you're wrong, Andy. This is only 11.
No, because it occurred to me Mr. Hoskins walked in and made just an even dozen.
Well, you really shouldn't count the first one.
Oh, I was counting the first one, so that makes 12.
Oh. Hello, Al. Hi. It's good to hear your voice.
Well, anyway, they're all down in the cellar.
No, Al. I'm sober as a lark. I just called because I was feeling a little Pirandella. Oh, no, Al, look. I need you to get a hold of George right away. He's got to come to the play for me tonight. I can't make it. That's all there is to it. I can't. I'll tell you all about it tomorrow. This is my department and I'm running it. You get a hold of George. Hold on. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. 12.
Yes, Abby thinks you ought to count the first one, and that makes 12.
All right. Now, who was the first one?
Mr. Mitchley, he was a Baptist.
Of course, I still think he shouldn't count because he just died.
Martha was without any help from us. You see, Mr. Goes again to looking for a room.
It was right after you moved to New York.
And it didn't seem right. That lovely room to be going twice. There were so many people who needed it.
He was such a lonely old man.
Oh, his Kip and Kim were dead. They were so forlorn and unhappy.
He felt so sorry for him.
And then when his heart attack came, and he sat there in that chair looking so peaceful. Remember, Martha? We made up our minds then and there. We could have our lonely old men to that same place we would. He just
Died. Right there. In that chair.
How awful for you.
Oh, no, dear. Why, it was rather like old times. Your grandfather always used to have a cadaver or two around the house. Anyways, Eddie had been digging in Panama, and he thought Mr. Midgley was a yellow fever victim, which meant he had to be buried immediately. So we all took him down to Panama and put him in the log. Now that's why we told you not to worry about anything, because we know exactly what's to be done.
And that's how this all started. That man walking in here and dropping dead.
Of course, we realized it couldn't depend on happening again, so...
You remember those jars of poison that have been up in the shelves in Grandfather's laboratory all these years?
You know your Aunt Martha's knack for mixing things. You get enough particularly.
Well, for a gallon of elderberry wine, I take 1 teaspoonful of arsenic, then add half a teaspoonful of strychnine, and then just a pinch of cyanide.
Should have quite a kick.
Yes, as a matter of fact, one of our gentlemen found the time to say how delicious.
Well, I better get things started in the kitchen.
I wish you could stay for dinner.
I'm trying out a new recipe.
Oh, no, I couldn't eat a thing.
Oh, I feel so much better now. Oh, have to wait for Elaine, don't you? How happy you must be. Well, I'll leave you here alone with your thoughts.
It's you!
Don't be cross, darling. Father could see I was excited, so I told him all about us, and then made it very hard for me to get away. But listen, darling, he's not going to be back for me tonight.
Listen, Elaine, you run along home and I'll call you up tomorrow.
Tomorrow? But we're going to the theater tonight.
No, something's come up.
What, darling? Mortimer, you've lost your job.
Oh, no, I haven't lost my job. I'm just not covering that play tonight.
But I've got to know what's happened. Certainly you can tell me.
No, I can't.
But if we're going to be married...
Married?
Have you forgotten that not 15 minutes ago you proposed to me?
I did?
Oh, yes, I did. Well, as far as I know, that's still on. Now, you run along home, Elaine.
Listen, you can't just propose to me 1 minute and throw me out of the house the next.
I'm not throwing you out of the house, darling. Will you please get out of here?
No, I will not get out of here, not until I've had some kind of explanation.
Oh, Elaine! Oh. Hello? Oh, well, yes, it's important. Oh, well, it can wait, can't it? No. Hold on, Al. Look, Elaine, you're a sweet girl, and I love you. But I need you to run home and wait for me to call you.
Don't try to be masterful.
When we're married, and I have problems to face, I hope you're less tedious and uninspired.
And when we're married, if we're married, I hope I find you adequate.
Elaine! Elaine! Hello? Al? Hello?
That's the doorbell, dear, not the telephone. How do you do? Come in.
I understand you have a room to rent.
Yes, won't you step in?
Are you the lady of the house?
Yes, I'm Miss Brewster, and this is my sister, another Miss Brewster.
My name is Gibbs.
Oh, won't you step in? Oh, sorry, we were just setting the table for dinner.
Hello. Let me speak to Al again. City desk. Al! City desk! What? Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong number.
May I see the room?
Why don't you sit down here and let's get acquainted?
That won't do much good if I don't like the room.
Is Brooklyn your home?
I haven't got a home. I live in a hotel. Don't like it.
Hello, city desk.
Are your family Brooklyn people?
Haven't got any family.
Hello, world?
Yeah?
Well, Martha. Well, you've come to just the right place, so please sit down.
Hello, Al, Mort. We got cut off. I can't cover the play tonight, Al. That's all there is to it. I can't.
What church do you go to? There's an Episcopal church practically next door.
I'm Presbyterian. I used to be.
Oh, well, what's George doing in Bermuda? Certainly, I told George he could go to Bermuda. It's my department, isn't it? Well, you've got to find somebody. Who else is there around the office?
Is there always this much noise?
Oh, he doesn't live with us.
Well, there must be somebody around the place. Look, Al. What about the office boy? You know, the bright one. The one we don't like. You look around the office, all hold on.
I'd really like to see the room.
It's upstairs. We'll try a glass of wine before starting out.
Never touch it.
It's elderberry wine. We make it ourselves.
Elderberry wine? I haven't had elderberry wine since I was a boy. Thanks.
Well, there must be some printers around. Look, Al, the fellow who sets my copy. He ought to know about what I write. Name's Joe. Third machine from the left. Oh, but Al, he might turn out to be the next Burns Mantle.
Do you have your own elderberry bushes?
No, but the cemetery is full of them.
No, Al. I'm not drinking.
But I'm going to start now.
Do you serve meals?
We might, but first to see whether or not you like the wine.
Mortimer.
Mortimer, not that.
Oh!
Now you spoiled everything.
You can't do things like that. I don't know how to explain that to you. It's wrong. It's not a nice thing to do. People wouldn't understand. He wouldn't understand.
Andy, you shouldn't have told Mortimer.
What I mean to say is that this has just turned into a very bad habit.
Mortimer, I'm not saying you can do anything you like to do. I don't think you should interfere with us.
Hello? Oh, all right, I'll see the first act and I'll plan the hell out of it. But look, Al, you've got to do something for me. Get a hold of O'Brien, the head of our legal department. Have him meet me at the theater. All right, I'm starting now. Don't let me down. Look, I've got to go to the theater. I can't get out of it, but before I go, I need you to promise me something.
We have to know what it was first.
You know I love you more than anything in the world, and I know you love me. You know I'd do anything in the world for you, and I'm asking you to do just this one little thing for me.
But what do you want us to do?
Oh, don't do anything. I mean, don't do anything. Don't let anyone in the house, and leave Mr. Hoskins right where he is.
Why?
Oh, I need time to think, and I've got quite a lot to think about. I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to you.
What else could happen to us?
Oh, well, you'll do this for me, won't you?
Well, we were planning on holding services for Mr. Hoskins before supper.
Services?
Certainly. You don't think we bury Mr. Hoskins without a full Methodist service, do you? Why, he was a Methodist.
But can't that wait till I get back?
Oh, then you can join us.
Oh, yes! Yes!
Oh, Mortimer, you'll love the services, especially the hymns. Remember how beautifully Mortimer used to sing in the choir before his voice changed?
Anyways, you're not going to let anyone in the house while I'm gone. It's a promise.
Well...
Oh, Martha, we need to know that Mortimer's cooperating with us. Well, all right, Mortimer.
All right. Have you got any paper? I'll be back just as soon as I can, but there's a man I've got to see.
Here's some stationery. Will this do?
Oh, yes, that'll do fine. I can save some time if I write my review on the way to the theater.
Mortimer didn't seem quite himself today.
Well, that's only natural. I think I know why.
Why?
Well, he's become engaged to be married. I suppose it always makes a man nervous.
Well, I'm so happy for Elaine. And their honeymoon ought to give Mortimer a real vacation. I don't think he got much rest this summer.
Well, isn't he trading off to China or Spain?
I could never understand why he wanted to go to those places.
Well, think to Mortimer. Theaters always seem pretty small potatoes. He needs something big to criticize. Some of the human race.
Oh, Abby, if Mortimer's coming back in service for Mr. Hoskins, we'll need another hymnal. There's one in my room.
You know, dear, it's really my turn to read the services, but since you and Mr. Hoskins came, I want you to do it.
Well, That's very kind of you here, but are you sure you want me to?
It's only fair.
Well, I think I'll wear my black bombazine and mother's old brooch.
I'll get it.
We promised Mortimer he wouldn't let anyone in.
Who do you suppose it is?
Wait a minute, I'll look. It's two people, and I've never seen them before.
Are you sure?
There's a car at the curb. They must have come in that.
Let me look.
Do you recognize them?
No, they're strangers to me.
Well, we'll just have to pretend we're not at home.
Come in, Doctor. This is the home of my youth. As a boy, I couldn't wait to escape from this place. Now I'm glad to escape back into it.
Why, Johnny, it's a fine hideout.
The family must still live here. There's something so unmistakably Brewster about the Brewsters. I hope there's a fatted calf awaiting the return of the prodigal.
Yes, I'm hungry. Oh, look, Johnny, drinks.
As though we were expected. A good omen.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Why, Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha. It's Jonathan.
You get out of here.
It's Jonathan. Your nephew, Jonathan.
Oh, no, you're not. You're nothing like Jonathan, so pretend you are. You just get out of here.
But I am Jonathan. And this is Dr. Einstein.
And she isn't Dr. Einstein either.
And not Dr. Albert Einstein. Dr. Christine Einstein.
Who are you? You aren't our nephew, Jonathan.
I see you're still wearing that lovely garment that Grandma Brewster bought in England. And you, Aunt Martha, is still the high collar to hide where grandfather's acid burned you.
His voice is like Jonathan's.
Have you been in some kind of accident?
No, my face. Dr. Einstein is responsible for that. She's a plastic surgeon. She changes people's faces.
But I've seen that face before. Abby, remember when you went to the movies? I was so frightened. It was that face.
Don't worry, ladies. The past 5 years I gave Johnny 3 new faces. Give him a new one right away. This last face, well, I saw that picture too, just before I operated, and I was intoxicated.
You see, Doctor? You see what you've done to me? Even my own family!
Easy, Johnny, easy. You're home. And so often he tells me about this house, about Brooklyn, about his aunts that he loves so much. You know it's you, Johnny. You know it's Jonathan. Speak to him, tell him so.
Well, Jonathan, it's been a long time. What have you been doing all these years?
Yes, Jonathan, where have you been?
Oh, England, South Africa, Australia, and the last 5 years, Chicago. Dr. Einstein and I were in business there together.
Oh, we were in Chicago for the World's Fair.
Yes, we found Chicago awfully warm.
Oh, you've got hot for us too.
It's wonderful to be back in Brooklyn again. And you, Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, you don't look a day older. Just as I remembered you. Sweet, charming, hospitable. And you, Teddy, did he get into politics? And my little brother, Doctor, was determined to become president.
Oh, Teddy's fine, just fine. And Mortimer's well, too.
I know all about Mortimer. He's evidently fulfilled all the promise of his early nasty nature.
We're very fond of Mortimer.
Well, Jonathan, it's very nice to have seen you again.
Bless you, Aunt Martha. It's good to be home again.
Well, Martha, let's let what's on the stove boil over.
Yes, if you'll excuse us for a minute, unless you're in a hurry to go somewhere.
Well, where do we go from here, Johnny? The police. At least they've got a picture of that face. I got operate on you right away. We've got to find a place for that. And we've got to find a place for Mr. Spinalzo, too.
Oh, forget Mr. Spinalzo.
But Johnny, we've got a hot stiff on our hands.
Don't waste any worry on that rat.
But you can't keep a dead body in the rumble seat. You shouldn't have killed him, Johnny. He's a nice fella. He gives us a lift, and what happens?
He said I look like Frankenstein. That's your work, Doctor. You did that to me.
Easy, Johnny. I'll fix you up later.
Tonight.
Tonight, Johnny, no. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I gotta eat first. And
Jonathan, we're glad you remembered us for the trouble to come by and say hello, but you're never happy in this house, and we're never happy with you in it. So we just come to say goodbye.
And I can't say that you're feelings toward me come as a surprise. I've spent a great many hours regretting the many heartaches I must have given you as a boy.
You were quite a child once, Jonathan.
But my great disappointment is for Dr. Einstein. You see, I promised her that no matter how rushed we were in passing through Brooklyn, I'd take the time to bring her here for one of Aunt Martha's home-cooked meals.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm afraid there won't be enough.
Abby, it's a pretty good-sized pot
A
roast.
pot roast?
I think the least we can do is to...
Thank you, Aunt Martha. We'll stay to dinner.
Well, hurry along.
Yes.
Oh, Jonathan, if you want to freshen up, why don't you use a washroom in Grandpa's old laboratory?
Is that still there?
Oh, yes, that's who left it. Well, I'll have Martha get things started since we're all in a hurry.
Well, it is a meal out of it anyway.
Grandfather's laboratory, and just as it was. A doctor, a perfect operating room.
Too bad we can't use it.
But once you're finished with me, why, we could make a fortune here. The lab, that old ward in the attic, 10 beds, doctor, and Brooklyn is crying for your talents.
Why work yourself up, Johnny? Besides, for Brooklyn, I think we're a year too late.
Hey, you don't know this town, doctor. Practically everybody in Brooklyn needs a new face.
But so many of those faces are locked up.
A very small percentage. And the boys in Brooklyn are famous for paying generously to stay out of jail.
Take it easy, Johnny. Your aunts, they don't want us here.
We're here for dinner, aren't we?
Yes, but after dinner.
Don't worry about it, doctor. I'll take care of it. Why, this house could be our headquarters for years.
Sounds lovely, Johnny. This quiet house. Those aunts of yours, I love them already. I'll go get the bags.
Doctor, we must be invited first.
But you just said.
We'll be invited.
And if they say no?
Doctor, two helpless old women.
It's like something out of a dream, Johnny. Only I hope you're not dreaming. There's something about this place. It's so peaceful.
Yes, that's what makes this house so perfect for us. It's so peaceful.